أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن عليًا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليًا أمير المؤمنين وابناء المعصومين حجج الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. يا الله يا الله. ولا وجه الله وشرف النبي وآله الطاهرين، ولا شرف الزهراء والطيبة أم البنين وأمات الحاضرين، خصوصا إلى سيدي ومولاي القاسم بن الحسن. الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله صلوات الله. أشهد أن عليا وأولاده المعصومين حجج الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليهم أجمعين. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة. قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه إنه كان غفارا. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله ربي. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم لا إله إلا الله العلي العظيم. سبحان الله رب السماوات السبع ورب الأرضين السبع وما فيهن وما بينهن ورب العرش العظيم والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وعافنا واعف عنا في الدنيا والآخرة إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله كما هو أهله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وتقبل شفاعته في أمته وارفع درجته. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد وأركع وأسجد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك الراحة عند الموت والعفو عند الحساب. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله والحمد لله وخير الأسماء لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر.
Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. We're going to get started with Isha prayer right away because we have a long program ahead of us. But brothers and sisters, I stand before you to appeal. It is the 8th night of Muharram, and we have collected only $13,000 of the $55,000 that we wanted to collect. Okay, we are going to do a fundraising straight after Maghrib Isha Salah. So I would earnestly ask that you stay for that, please, so we can try and collect as much as our target as possible. As you know, our money that we collect goes towards offering the programs and services that you've benefited from the last few. Sorry? Yes, sir. So it's very important, brothers and sisters, that we collectively give. And if you can please stay and participate in the fundraising after, inshallah, we can collect our target over the next 3 nights between now and Thursday night. Okay, Jazakallah khairan jaza. I will let the Sheikh continue on with the prayer for Isha, please. So.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله صلوات الله وسلامه. أشهد أن عليا وأولاده المعصومين حجج الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه إنه كان غفارا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله ربي. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله كما هو أهله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وتقبل شفاعته وارفع درجته. بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقعد. سبحان الله. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد وأركع وأسجد. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله. سبحان الله والحمد لله. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. يا خير المسؤولين ويا خير المعطين ارزقني وارزق عيالي من فضلك فإنك ذو الفضل العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله والحمد لله وخير الأسماء لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. need to say a few sentences about donation. Sure. Shall I say that?
I think we want to try and get everybody in. Brothers and sisters, if we could please get you to be seated, if we can remove the prayer lines so we can get as many people in the hall as possible and we can get started with the program and then we can continue on with the majalis thereafter. So please, if we can remove the prayer lines and if everybody can be seated in the hall, we can get the auction started as soon as possible. So it doesn't delay the program tonight, please. Asant.
مولانا
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brothers and sisters, now the organizers are doing a donation and I'm just saying a few words to encourage you inshallah ta'ala to donate generously. Allah Azza wa Jal says in Quran, وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. Whatever you do infaq for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah knows. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ يُؤَفَّ إِلَيْكُمْ. Above all, whatever you are doing infaq, that's not going to go anywhere else. That's going towards yourself. You are investing for your own sake. And Allah Azza wa Jal says in Quran, مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبت السبع سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء. So for whatever you are donating, Allah Azza wa Jal will reward you 700 times more than whatever we are donating for Allah's cause. These are the verses of Quran, and inshallah ta'ala, our rewards are guaranteed if we have sincerity. There is a beautiful hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he says that يقول ابن آدم مالي مالي. People keep saying, this is mine, this is mine. However, nothing is yours except three. Whatever you ate and digested, whatever you wore and made it worn out, and whatever you deposited in the account of yourself before Allah Azza wa Jal, whatever you sent to Allah Azza wa Jal, whatever you gave for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. And also there is a beautiful hadith which says, لَن يَهْدِيَ اللَّهُ بِكَ رَجُلًا وَاحِدًا خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِمَّا طَلَعَتْ عَلَيْهِ الشَّمْسِ. This donation is for the cause of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. This donation is for the cause of running the center. And the center stands to provide guidance to our youth, to our children, to our generations. So hadith says, if you contribute towards the guidance of a person, then guiding one person is better for you than whatever sun shines on it. So this is the importance of donation for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is the importance of donation for the sake of Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wasalam. Not only in that word, Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wasalam, history has proven whoever has done any goodness towards them or towards their cause, they have paired them in multiplication, in multiple times, even in this world, before the hereafter. So, inshallah ta'ala, donate generously and be assured that whatever you donate, inshallah ta'ala, Allah and Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhimu salam will reward you not only in that world, in this world, in multiple times. However, the donation should be done with sincerity and with love and with compassion. With these words, I'm leaving you with Allah Azza wa Jalla.
أحسنتم مولانا. Assalamu alaikum. For the love of Imam al-Hussein, I'm going to ask everyone to try to make their way back to the hallways. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Jazakallah alf khair, Sayyidina, for the words that you said. I'm going to be blunt. Sheikh was asking, Sayyid was asking to give generously with love, compassion. I'm going to say, please go deep into your pockets and search for that love and compassion. But before you go into your pockets, I'm going to ask you to find that love and compassion in your heart. I want you to find the treasure that most of us think sits in our pockets and in our wallets and in our homes and our cars. Some of you may think that your treasures are your children, your spouses, your parents, things that you own. I'm going to ask you to think about the real treasure, and that is the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the love of Ahlul Bayt, our guide to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. When we built this center in 2005, we didn't think that we would be a center that welcomes everyone from every nation, all under the banner of Imam al-Hussein, because this center is a center of revival. This center is a center for the Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajah. When people asked us, why are you called the Rabtat al-Imam al-Mahdi? It is because we believe in the revival of Islam, because Imam al-Hussein did not get martyred in vain. Imam al-Hussein, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam al-Hussein said, I come not but to make islah, to rectify what the Muslims had destroyed, that my grandfather brought the message of Islam. And this center is a place where we hold and we relive and we keep alive the message of Imam al-Hussein. So tonight, yes, I'm going to ask you to go deep in your hearts and to think and give in the name of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi afdal salat wa salam. But I'm going to ask you to go deep in your pockets and give generously. So I know we have the sisters upstairs and we have the other hall as well. The way this is going to work is we're going to introduce the various items to you. The brothers up here are going to be showcasing the items to the people here in the Mustafa Hall, and you can also see them displayed on the television sets. So you'll be able to see what these items are. We're going to start the bids, and anyone who really wants to go home with a treasure, a real treasure, it's not anything that you hold in your hand. Brothers, just want, if I can get your attention, this is for Imam al-Hussein. The treasure is not what you'll go home with. It is not just the turba or the frame. The treasure is nothing that you hold in your hand. The treasure is the experience of what you will walk away with, knowing that tonight you gave في سبيل أبي عبد الله الحسين عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. With a loud salawat على محمد وآل محمد, we're going to start with our first item. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. On the monitors and the TV and here before you, you'll see a flag from the Haram of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. This flag is authentic. It was displayed in the Haram with a stamp of authenticity. You can have this flag that was displayed in the Haram of Abi Abdullah in Karbala. You can have it tonight. We're starting the bids at $1,000. Do I have $1,000? I have $1,000. Do I have a higher bid? Going to the next, do I have another bid? Any other sisters have a bid? Who's keeping an eye on Arif? I know you look pretty, but you got to tell me what's going on here, bro. So we're going to make sure that if there are bids from the other halls, we're listening to you, we're feeling you. We want you to feel the treasures. Sisters, we have a bid for 1,000. Does anyone give a higher bid? This is in the name of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. You can have the same flag that graced the Adba of Imam al-Hussein in Karbala. We have 1,100. Do I have a higher bid? We have 1,200. Do I have a higher bid? 1,500. Did I hear 50? Did I hear 1,600? Or I heard 1,500? Okay, we're going in 500. So we're up at 1,500. Flag, authenticity stamp from Imam al-Hussein. You can have this in your home. The barakah that this flag brings to your home, the treasure of knowing that it graced the hallways of Karbala, of Imam Hussein's shrine. Do I have another bid? Going to the bid of 1,500 once. For the bid of 1,500 twice. I got a bid for 2,000. We got 2,000. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This deserves another salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali 2,500, another loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Yeah. The treasure is not what you hold in your hand, but the experience you will tell your children and your grandchildren that tonight you gave generously to keep the dhikr of Ali Muhammad in the center. Do I have a bid higher than 2,500? Going once for 2,500. Going twice for 2,500. Loud salawat for a higher bid. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Gone to the bidder, 2,500. Jazakumullah alif khair. Loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Out of respect for the sisters and brothers who may be donating tonight, we will not disclose who gave the donation unless they send us their names and ask us to do so. Jazakumullah alif khair. Next, we have a cream-colored stone pendant from the walls of the Haram of Imam al-Hussein alayhi afdal salatu salam. This pendant can be used as a ring. Note, this pendant sold for 600 last year. So we're going to start the bid at just 200. Do I have a bid at 200? I got 200. I love you, Rayyan, but we want more. Do I have a bid of 400? I got 4. Do I have something higher? This is a stone from the Haram of Karbala. Do I have a bid higher than 400? Are you opening up your hand? You're going to get your parents in trouble, my friend. Do I have a higher bid than 400? Going once? Going twice? Jazakallah alif khair. La salawat for Rayyan. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Next we have a Aqiq ring. This is an agate ring. Please, there we go. This ring has the inscription of the Khamsi Taht al-Qisad, the 5 holy of the household. And this is bought in Karbala. Do I have a bid for 200? Starting at 200 for this agate ring. Do I have a bid at 200?
It's 400 here.
Oh, I got a bid for 400. Come on, brothers. The ladies are showing you up. Come on. Do I have a bid higher than 400? Loud salawat for a bid higher than 400. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Going once for 400. Going twice. Alif Mabruk to the sister who purchased that ring. Jazakumullah alif khair. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Next we have a ring from Mashhad. This is a sapphire ring with stones on the side as well. Starting the bid at 200. Do I have a bid for 200? Remember, go generously into those pockets and think of the treasure that you hold in your heart. 300. I have a bid for 300. Do I have another bid?
300.
I have a bid for 300. Do I have another bid? Give generously. Remember, it's not the ring you wear around your finger. 350. It's the prayer that Allah will accept for your donation tonight. 500. I have a bid for 500. Do I have a higher bid? You will be able to perform this prayer with the ring from Imam al-Rida alayhi afdal salat wa salam. Do I have a bid for higher than 500? Going once for 500. Going twice for 500. May Allah reward you with acceptance of your prayer. Loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This is a plate with the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're starting, and remember, the names of Allah, you can't put a price on this. These items are priceless. It is not the worth of the item itself, but what it signifies. This is the 99 names of Allah. May Allah accept each prayer you say His name with when you're praying and you give generously tonight. Do I have a bid of 200? Do I have a bid of 200? I have 250. There is generosity. Jazakallah al-khair, brother.
300.
I got 300. We can add the 2 and go up to 550. Do I have a bid greater than 300? Going once for 300. Going twice. Allowed salawat ala Muhammad. Oh, I got 350. Do I have a bid higher than 350? Going once for 350. 2 salawat for 350. 3 salawat. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Remember, sisters and brothers, Jazakallah al khair, Dr. Rayyan, for reminding us, anything that you give generously tonight is something that you give for those who have passed on of your loved ones in their memory. It is for your akhirah and not just the dunya, and that is the greatest treasure. So we're going to start with the names of Al-Khamsi Taht Al-Kisa, alayhim afdal as-salatu was-salam, and Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the center with this plate starting at $200. Do I have a bid for $200? This is for your akhirah. How many of you want something for your akhirah? Do I have a bid? There we go. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have a bid for 200. Do I have a bid higher than 200? 300. We have a bid for 300. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. May Allah reward you all. Even if you do not end up with the gift itself, with the donation, we encourage you to give generously because we're falling short of our Muharram goal. So even if you do not get one of the items tonight, we still encourage you to donate generously, and that donation will also give you so much back. As Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala, and our Sayyid reminded us, when you give one thing, it comes back so many times in tenfold. Do I have a bid greater than 300? Going once? Going twice? Nawab, may Allah reward you. Jazakallah al khair. Oh. MashaAllah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Jazakallah al khair. There's a gift that keeps giving. This is generosity. So we're going for the same plate starting at $300. But first, a loud salawat to Nawab and his family and those who have passed in his family. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Jazakallah al khair, brother. Starting at 300 for this plate. Do we have 300? Do I have 300 for this plate? Give generously so Allah can give back to you. Whatever you give to the center, look at the children, look at the future that we have here. This is why we are giving to the center, to keep the doors alive, to make sure that we have everything that we need to remember Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Do I have a bid for 300? I have a bid for 300. Do I have a bid higher than 300? There's a family that keeps giving, barakallah. Do I have a bid higher than 300? Go 400, barakallah fikum, brother. I have a bid for 400. Do I have a bid higher than 400? I got 500. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I know you all want to get to the majlis tonight, so let's keep going here. Do I have a bid higher than 500? Going once? Going twice? This is meant to stay in your home, my brother Nawab. Barakallah fikum. Thank you. Now we are going, Jazakumullah al-khair. We are... Oh, mashallah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Starting at 500 for the same plate. How can we put a price on the names of the Ahl al-Bayt? How can we put a price on something that is priceless, that has survived the ridicule of so many nations? Ali Muhammad has lifted the banner of Islam under this center. What will you do to show your devotion to Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? Do I have a bid for $500? Oh, sorry. Do I have a bid for $500? Going once, $500. I heard 550. 550. Barakallah, 550 from the ladies. It is from the ladies, right? We love those sisters. Barakallah fikum, sisters. May Allah reward you for everything that you do for this center. You may be behind the scenes, but we know you're working hard. We have 555. We got 6. Do we have another bid higher than 6? 7. Barakallah. Jazakallah al-khair. Going once. 8. We have 8. Do we have a bid higher than 8? We're on fire. Well, no, we're keeping away from the fire. We're on light. Barakallahu feekum. We have a bid for 800. Do we have more than 800? Going once. We got 9. Can we make it 1,000? We just did. We made it 11. He just went 1,000. You got 1,100? Nawab has 1,000. 1,000 going once, going twice. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay, we are now. What?
Let's do it again.
We're doing it again? MashaAllah. We are starting with the plate at 1,000. This is the barakah of the names of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah. Do we have $1,000 for the names of the 5 under the kisa? 5 تحت الكساء. Do we have 1,000? Sisters, come on. I know we have some generous people in this place. Barakallah feekum. Do we have $1,000? We have $1,000. Do we have something higher than $1,000? Going once? Going twice? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad for $1,000. Masalli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We're good? Barakallah. One more loud salawat as we move to the next item. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have here the Surah Al-Fatiha with Kul huwa Allahu ahad, Kul a'udhu bi rabbil, Kul ya ayyuhal kafirun, Kul huwa Allahu ahad, Kul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, and Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. This is what we put in our home to keep away the evil spirit, to keep away evil, to keep away the shayateen, to keep away our evil deeds. This is what we say when we walk into our homes. You can have this experience in your home. Can we get a bid of $200 starting at $300 for this frame? Do I have $300? You know what? There's 4 surahs here. I'm going to go starting at 400. Oh, there's 5 surahs. Sorry, we're starting at 500. I know you are generous. These surahs are worth, they're priceless. This is what we teach our kids. This is tawheed. This is, we say to the kafirun who are burning our Quran, we will not believe in what you believe. We will believe in the message of Imam al-Hussein. We are reviving the message of Imam al-Hussein during these 10 days. What do I have? Do I have greater than 500? The Surah Al-Fatiha. Should we make it 600? See, that's a bonus. You got the Surah Al-Fatiha in the middle. So 500, do I have 500? Brother, are you itching your ear or is that 500? Do I have 500? Do I have 500 for this frame? Remember, it is not what you hang on your wall, but what you hang in your heart. Give me a loud salawat and let's hear 500 for this frame. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We got 500. 500 going once. 500 going twice. Barakallah to the proud owner of these 5 surahs. Okay. All right. Going next, we have Ayat al-Kursi. We have a frame with the Ayat al-Kursi. And this frame is starting, mashallah, the barakah of Ayat al-Kursi. We're starting at $200. We got 200. Do I have 300? 250. We got 250. We got 300. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa. I mean, this is the heart of the Quran, some say. We don't have Surah Yasin, do we? Ayat al-Kursi. Imagine having this on your wall while you teach it to your children. You can repeat it every day. You can remember where you gave generously in the name of Abi Abdullah. Do we have anything greater than 300? Going once? Going twice? 350, we have 350. Going once? 375. We got 4. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have 4 going once. 425. Barakallah feekum. We got 450. We got 4. Let's make it 5. We got 5. We got 5. Going once. 550. We can't do $15 increments. Okay, 515, 515. 515. 515? 515? That's like 313, but 515? Going once for 515? Going twice? Barakallah to the owner of Ayat al-Kursi. May he grace your homes. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Now we have a picture of Ya Zainab al-Kubra purchased from Haram al-Abbas alayhi salam, starting at 200. Imagine this sitting in your prayer room, reminding you of the woman who spread the message of her brother from city to city to city. If it were not for Zainab, a woman who stood in the face of tyrants, you would not have the Quran today. You would not be here if it was not for Zainab. We have 250. What do we have for Zainab? Come on, sisters. This is for Zainab. Do we have greater than 250? We have 300. Show your love for Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam. Did I hear 3 or did I hear 250? 250? We got 250. We got 300. Do I have greater than 300? 300 going once. 350. Barakallah. 350. Going once. Going twice. MashaAllah, 350. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We're almost done, but you're not. Please keep giving generously because this is going to help us meet our needs. 350, the sisters. Yep. Now we have a picture frame from Abi Abdullah of Ya Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi afdal salatu salam, purchased from the Haram of Abu Fadl al-Abbas in Karbala. You can have this in your prayer hall. Ya Aba Abdullah, is this not why you come to say every night? Show me how much you love Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. We have 200. We have 200. We have 250. We have 300 for Imam al-Hussein. Do we have more than 300? Do we have greater than 300? We have 350. Barakallah. Imam Hussein keeps on giving to you. Every night you give back to him. Show me what you will give Imam al-Hussein tonight. We have greater than 350? Do we have greater than 350? 350 going once. 350 going twice. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad 3 times. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Next we have the replica. Oh, Irshad, barakallah. We're re-giving. We're starting at 400. Each year you come here to commemorate Imam al-Hussein. Each day you commemorate Imam al-Hussein in your heart. We're starting at 450. For this, the name of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein to grace your homes. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have 450. Now, I gotta make something clear here. These names, these surahs, they are priceless. We cannot put a cost on it. What we're doing is putting a worth of your generosity and giving to the center. So I ask for forgiveness when I say this is for Imam al-Hussein and this is for Zainab, because what you give from your tears, what you give from your presence, what you give from being here, what you're giving from teaching your children, what you're giving from speaking with your parents. Remember, this is the chain that has been passed on to us from Allah through His Prophet, through every single prophet, to our Imam, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajah, who is witnessing what we are doing tonight. Do not think that what we do is in vain. We are gathered here under the raya of Imam al-Hussein and Imam al-Mahdi, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajah. Do we have 500 for the name of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein? 500? Do we have 500? Don't turn me away. 500 for the name of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein? Do we have 500? We got 500 going once. Barakallah feekum, sister. Going twice. 500. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Barakallah Irshad for giving it back to the center. Now we have a replica of the door of the Kaaba. This frame, this replica of the door of the Kaaba can go through the barakah of your house, through your door, and grace your home. Starting at 300. Do we have 300? We have 300. We have 350. We have 4. Do we have greater than 4? We have 450. Barakallah feekum. Do we have greater than 450? We got 500. I'm feeling a bit feverish. I see hands all over. Do we have greater than 500? Greater than 500. We have 600. Barakallah feekum. 600. Do we have greater than 600? Going once for 600. Going twice for 600. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad to the proud owner. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Starting at 300, we have the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the Ahl al-Kisa and a hadith. La fata illa Ali wa la sayfan illa dhul fikar. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You can't put a price on your generosity and your love for Ahl al-Bayt, but we can ask you to donate to the center so that we can always keep the dhikr of Ahl al-Bayt alive in the center, so that our children could feel comfortable coming up here and feeling at home. Give me a loud salawat and a $300 for this beautiful frame. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Do I have 300? I know I do. We have 300. Barakallah. Do I have greater than 300? We have 400. Barakallah, brother. 400, 400. Do we have greater than 400? Going once for 400. Going. We have 500. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have 3 more minutes left. We have 600. 600. Did I hear 650? We have 600. 600 going. 650? We have 600. Going once. Going twice. Give me a loud salawat for $600. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Wa ali Muhammad. Can you hold them up? Okay. We're going to show you, this is a stone from the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi afdal as-salat was-salam. People say, why do we always say Ya Ali? My mother, rest her soul in peace, every time she got up, every time she got sat down, every time she went down the stairs, anytime she did anything, she would say, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Ali. I said to the Sheikh one time, may Allah have mercy on the soul of Sheikh Saimri. I said, Sheikh Saimri, shouldn't she be saying, Ya Allah? He said, let her be. When she says, Ya Ali, this is her wasila to Allah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This is your wasila to Imam Ali. This is from the shrine of Imam Ali. Do we have starting bid at 200? Do we have 200? We have 200. We have 300. This is from the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salatu salam. Do we have greater than 300? Do we have greater than 300 going once? Going twice? Barakallahu feekum. May you, inshallah, may it be a barakah for you, brother. And may you be a barakah for being here and for giving. Yeah. So this is, we got this from the okay. Oh, okay. This is how we lead by example in this center. All of you are familiar with our scouts, and you're familiar with the sisters and brothers who are spending so much time giving from their time, their energy, their love to the center to ensure that our youth learn. We know what they're learning at school, alhamdulillah. But what they're learning here, give me a lot of salawat, and if I can keep everybody's attention on Imam Hussein tonight. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Our children can learn. This is what they've learned. This was given to the scouts. they're giving it back to the center. And they're donating it to the center. This is leading by example. This is the leadership. This is the role model that you're setting for your children to give in the name of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala Ali. Assalamu alayka ya Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein. MashaAllah, give me a loud salawat. And do we have a bid starting at? Musalli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad bid. Starting at 100. Do I have a bid of 100? Don't disappoint the scouts. Show them your generosity. We have 100. Do we have? We have 100. So we have 100 here. They gotta outbid it. So we have 100 here and the ladies. Oh, okay, so the ladies have 100. Do we have greater than 100? Do we have more than 100? Going once for 100. Going twice for 100? 150. We got 150, mashallah. Going once for 150. Going twice for 150. 150 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. What does it say on it? Ibrahim, do you see what it says on it? Okay. MashaAllah, this is beautiful. Now, I mean, the colors here represent the tragedy that is Karbala. It is said that even the skies rained blood on the day of Ashura. And when you look at this picture that represents the tragedy of Karbala, we're starting our bid here at 150 for this abstract. Do we have a bid of 150? We got 150. Thank you, Dr. Rayyan. 150. Do I have more than 150? I know you all want to get to the majlis. We have two. We have two. Do we have greater than two? Do we have greater than two? We had 200 for the sisters. Can we, the brother who gave, mashallah, we have 250. I want to make sure you walk away with something. Mashallah. 250. Going once for 250. Going twice for 250. I want him to walk away, but I want more money. We got 300. Sorry, do you want to? We got 350. Going once for 350. Going twice for 350. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Barakallah, brother. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay, 250 each. Okay. التربة تربة الحسين فيها شفاء. There is a mercy and a remedy. It is told that if you take a few grains from Turbat al-Hussein, there is shifa in it. I have a personal story. I don't want to get too personal on you here, but a few months ago, my son had kidney stones. He was in a lot of pain. Somebody had gifted me some grains of sand from Turbat al-Karbala when I was there a few years ago. I swear by the holiness of these nights, you're laughing because you know this is true. I decided to take a few of those grains and I put a glass of water for each one of my family members and we all drank from it. By the name of Imam al-Hussein, the next day, my son had no more pain. Alhamdulillah, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Musalli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We're starting the bid at 250 each. Oh. Okay, sorry, just a clarification. We can't sell any of these items, particularly the turba. So when you donate, starting a donation at 250, you will get the gift of a turba. And again, remember, these gifts are priceless. So we're starting at 250 for one turba. Gift. We're starting at for a gift of 250 for a gift of a turba. Do I have 250 for each turba? So we need 12 individuals. Let's see 12 hands go up. Let's see 12 hands go up with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's see 12 hands go up. Come on. Let's see 12 hands go up. We need 11 more. 2, 3. Did I see a hand, brother? Oh, you sure? Yeah. We got 2 hands. Come on. We have 2 hands. If you scratch your nose, I'm going to take it as a sign that you're putting your hand up. 1 for the ladies. We have 3. Let's see some generosity. We have 4. The sheikh's looking at me like we have to get to the majlis. We have 4. We need 8 more. I can't count. We need 8 more hands. We have 4. Do we have another one? Yeah, we have one. So we have 4. We have 5. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And let me see some hands go up. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have 6 hands. We have 6 people who will get the gift of a turba for the gift they are giving for $250 each. Do we have 6 more people? 6 more people who want to get a gift of turba from the shrine of Imam al-Hussein. These are authentic turbas from Imam al-Hussein with a stamp of authenticity. We have 7. We have 7. We need 5 more. We have 10. 2 more. You're losing. We have 11. Who gets the last one with a loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Who wants the last turba from Imam al-Hussein? Last one? MashaAllah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. On these nights of giving, don't just give from your tears. The treasure that you carry away with you is not just the treasure that you donated tonight, but it's the dhikr of Ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, just a couple of things I wanted to mention. For those families that donated items towards the auction, may Allah reward you and your families. Jazakallah khairan jaza. A loud salawat for those families, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For those brothers who have not had a chance or sisters to donate, please, we need to cover our target of 55,000. So please help us. We're collecting donations right through Thursday night. Everybody collectively give whatever you can, because together we can get to our target. Don't leave this for a few to donate. Please, everybody chip in. Our annual expenses at the center are $165,000. Muharram goes a big way towards helping us meet our expenses for the year. So please, donate generously in the name of the Imam Hussein and the other Shuhada of Karbala, and inshallah Allah will reward you. If we want to keep on doing programs like the Urdu program, youth events, we need your financial support, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allow salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, we can now break out into our different rooms and we will begin the programs for tonight for the Arabic and the English sections, please. As soon as we do this, we can start the programs. We will pull the partition in the Al-Mustafa Hall, so we break it up for the brothers and the sisters. Yeah. And for the sisters that had successfully bid on the auction items, please, if you can come down and pay Brother Bakr, we would really appreciate it. Jazakallah khairan. Khairan jaza. So ladies can come down. We're going to put the partition in Al-Mustafa Hall. Okay?
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience, for going a bit above time with the auction. Our only update today is just the youth program reminders. We're going to have a boys-only discussion here in the English side after Latmiya with Sheikh Jafar. The ages 16 and up for that discussion. There will be light refreshments as well. Moreover, we look towards Wednesday, tomorrow, for a bonfire with all the youth 13 and up. And finally, our collaborative events with Toronto, Hamilton, and Windsor on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. inshallah. So without further ado, let us welcome Sheikh Jafar up to the podium with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
To hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam, Imam Al-Mahdi, Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, please recite another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد اللهم صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا مولاي وابن مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا غريب يا مظلوم يا مسلوب العمامة والرداء حسين يا حسين everyone together حسين يا ما شاء الله حسين حسين يا حسين لعن الله الظالمين لكم سيدي يا أبا عبد الله أمنا من لجأ إليكم فيا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. إمام المهدي عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف in زيارة الناحية, and where he graphically describes the events of Ashura and the pain and the agony in which Imam al-Hussein Salamullahi alayh and his holy household went through on that horrific day. He says, As-salamu ala al-shayb al-khadib. Peace be upon the grey hair that was dyed with blood. As-salamu ala al-khadd al-tarib. Peace be upon the cheek that struck the dust. السلام على البدن السليم. Peace be upon the butchered body of Aba Abdullah. السلام على الثغر المقروع بالقضيب. Peace be upon the front teeth that were beaten with a rod. السلام على الحسين. Everyone together. وعلى علي وعلى أولاد وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى عقيلة الحسين زينب وعلى أخيها وكافلها أبي الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بسيدنا مولانا أبي عبد الله الحسين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه، وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثأره مع وليه المنتظر القائم من آل محمد صلوات الله وسلامه عليهم أجمعين. اللهم صل. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, in Surah As-Saf, verse number 9, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us through this verse that He is the one who has sent His messenger Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi with the religion of truth to manifest it over the rest of the religions, although those who associate others with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will dislike it. Every night in Muharram, if you've been listening attentively, you'll hear me recite these lines. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بأبي عبد الله الحسين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. We are offering our condolences to Sayyid al-Shuhada, Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. We are commemorating the martyrdom of Sayyid al-Shuhada, Salamullahi alayhi. We are offering our condolences to none other than Imam Al-Mahdi Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. He is Sahib al-Aza. He is the one who we offer this condolences to. He is the one who in these days and in these nights is crying, as he says in his ziyarah, badal ad-dumu'i dama. He's crying blood instead of tears on his grandfather Sayyid al-Shuhada, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. These beautiful lines in which we recite every single night are handed to us by Imam al-Baqir salamullahi alayhi. As one time one of the companions, he goes to the Imam salamullahi alayhi and he tells him, how do we console one another? What do we say to one another in Muharram? The Imam salamullahi alayhi, he tells him, say this: أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بأبي عبد الله الحسين وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثأره مع وليه المنتظر القائم من آل محمد. By uttering these words, we are enduring the memory of Sayyid al-Shuhada salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. this unwavering legacy that Sayyid al-Shuhada left behind. The religion of Islam that he protected, the Quran that he protected. We are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who will avenge Sayyid al-Shuhada with his avenger. Who is his avenger? It's not a Marvel character. It's not Spider-Man. It's not Iron Man. It's the Imam of our time, Sahibul Asri wa Zaman. May Allah hasten his reappearance. He is the one who is going to avenge Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. And he is the one who is going to raise the banner of Hussein and the companions of Hussein and the family of Hussein. And he is the one who is going to bring peace and justice to the world after it is filled with tyranny and oppression. It is the Imam of our time. It is Imam Al-Mahdi. Imam Al-Mahdi, the Imam who we love. Imam Al-Mahdi, who no one knows where he resides, where he lives, where he sits, where he stands, where he eats. Who's he with? What's he going through? The Imam Salamullahi alayhi, who we just remembered in this year, his 1189th birthday. Imam al-Mahdi is 1189 years old. And he is waiting for us, Shia followers, Muslims, to be ready, to pray for his reappearance, to show the Imam Salamullahi alayhi that we are ready, that we are your Shia, that we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are on the path of truth, that we are united, we are together. We are ready to hold the banner of Ya li Tharat al-Hussein. We are the ones who are going to avenge Imam al-Hussein with you, Ya Sahib al-Zaman. A lot of us, we pray day and night to be from these Ansar, to be from these 313, the companions of Imam al-Mahdi. We recite in many of the du'as and many of the ziyaras. As an example, Dua al-Ahd, this highly recommended dua to be recited every morning, and where we talk to the Imam of our time. And it's something we should get accustomed to. And I urge my brothers and sisters to start making this part of their daily schedule, to listen to Dua al-Ahd every day for 40 mornings. We have narrations that say that the one who recites this dua for 40 mornings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make them from the companions of Imam al-Mahdi ajalallah ta'ala farajahu al-sharif. And if they were to pass away before the reappearance of the Imam salamullahi alayhi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring them back from their graves to be from the junud, the ansar of Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. There are many merits to reciting such du'as. Reciting this dua as an example grants the mu'min 100 good deeds and will erase from them 100 or thousands of sins. We recite in this dua one of the lines, Allahumma ij'alni min ansarihi wa a'wanihi wal mustashhadina bayna yadayhi wal dhabina anhu. Oh Allah, make me from his companions, make me from his helpers, make me from those who will support the Imam of my time. As well, many other of the ziyarat in which we read, as the ziyarat al-Yasin, we recite wa nasrati lakum mu'adda, wa nusrati lakum mu'adda. I am here to aid you, Ya Ahlul Bayt. I am here to aid you, Ya Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. I am ready to support you. Now when we recite these ziyarat and these du'as, and when we recite du'a al-Hujjah every single day, remembering the Imam of my time, does that mean, the question arises here, does that make me automatically from the junud of Imam al-Mahdi? Is that suffice enough? Because a lot of people, they think all they have to do to be from the companions of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman is just to say, Allahumma ajil farajah. And that's enough. As if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to do something in alam al-ghayb, and He's going to just make them automatically from those 313, from the supporters, from the army that will fight with the Imam salamullahi alayhi. Is that really the case? Of course not. There are a number of characteristics that these Ansar, these soldiers of the Imam salamullahi alayhi need to embody and need to carry, need to live by, need to act by, need to speak by. So if one wants to know whether he or she are from the Ansar of the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, they need to follow a number of steps. And they need to do a number of things. That being said, inshallah, throughout this discussion tonight, I would like to give a glimpse as to who these companions are. What characteristics should they embody? And how should they live their lives in order for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them from the Ansar of the Imam of our time. And inshallah, we will dedicate this discussion to speak about Imam Al-Mahdi, Ajjalallah ta'ala farajah sharif, in a number of points. The first is the Imam absent or present. The second is our goal to meet the Imam Salamullahi alayhi or not. And the third is the relationship of love that we should build with the Imam of our time. Let us begin with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The first question is the Imam absent or present? How do we deal with the awaited Imam? Now you may hear this question and you might laugh. You might think, well, it's very obvious that Imam Salamullahi alayhi is absent. He's not here. What kind of question is that? It's very simple, easy. Is that really the case or not? There's two approaches to look at this. There's two different ways. There's one way, which is the materialistic approach, which is the approach that deals with this matter as if the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is just like any absent person. The Imam's just a traveler. Just like when we travel and we leave our families, we're away from our families. One day we will come back and we will knock on their door and they will open this door for us and we will embrace and hug. A lot of people, when they look at the Imam, they look at the Imam from the materialistic aspect. Well, he's not here. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi is not physically present between us. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi cannot be seen. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi cannot be felt. They focus on the materialistic aspect, on the physical aspect. That's why a lot of people, what are the main questions they ask when it comes to the issue of Imam Al-Mahdi, Ajjalallah ta'ala farajah sharif? The most common question is what? What are the signs of the reappearance? How does the Imam look? What's the Imam going to do when he comes back? What weapon will the Imam carry? Will the Imam have the sword of Dhul Fiqar with him or not? How's the Imam going to dress? We focus so much on the physical aspect and we forget that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is actually present between us. Now this is one way of looking at it. People who limit the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, people who just look at the Imam Salamullahi alayhi based on the zahir, based on the appearance. And just because we cannot see him, and we as human beings, because of the way we are created, and especially for those who do not have this proper belief and faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the belief and tawakkul, the trust in Allah azza wa jal, in alam al-ghayb, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has something that is beyond my comprehension. I am limited. In the end of the day, this aql of mine, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me it with specific capabilities. There's behind this world, behind this realm, there's a metaphysical world that I cannot see, that I cannot feel. This is the way we need to look at it. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi, who said he is not present? Who said he is not here? You have this perspective looking at the Imam from the materialistic approach. And then you have a different perspective looking at the Imam from a spiritual way. Looking at his imama, looking at his leadership, looking at his values, looking at his teachings. The Imam is not physically present, yes. But the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is spiritually there. The teachings of the Imam are there. Every single night in Muharram we speak about narrations from the Ahlul Bayt. We speak about verses from the Quran. This is given to us through the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. The stories we learn from Karbala through the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. So his imamah, his role, his leadership is not just limited to him physically being here. And this is something that we need to keep in the back of our minds, that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is present, that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is here, that we can see the Imam through our heart. We may not be able to see him physically through the naked eye, but we can feel his presence if we connect with him. If we connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we are doing what is required for us and building this connection with the Imam, we can feel his presence. And we can have certainty in it as well. So there's two different ways to look at it. Is the Imam absent? Physically, the Imam's not here. But spiritually, the Imam's around us. And the Imam attends these majalis, as some of the traditions mention. Attends these majalis. Imam Al-Mahdi, Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajuh Sharif, is between us. But we need to find a way to connect with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The second point is that, is the goal to meet the Imam or not? Should that be my goal, my ambition in this life? To have an encounter with the Imam? Without a shadow of doubt, everyone's wish, everyone's ambition is to meet the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, is to be in the presence of the infallible. Just being in his presence, just sitting, not talking, not doing anything, there is barakah. And perhaps through that sitting with the Imam, you may get enlightened. You may change. You may get illuminated by the light of the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. Because this is who the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is, a representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is our goal to see the Imam? And can we see the Imam? Here's another question. Is it possible to see the Imam Salamullahi alayhi in the first place or not? And assuming it is possible, what is this meeting supposed to be like? How should it be? What should I feel? Now, in regards to the first question, is it possible to meet the Imam? Perhaps many people may say it's not. Searching for the Imam is like going to a dead end. You're going to go to a road where at the end of it, there's a door. It's closed. You can't open it. And perhaps some of them used to aid this idea a narration. A narration mentioned in the book of Shaykh At-Tusi, in his book Al-Ghaiba, which is regarding the last days of the life of the fourth deputy of the Imam, Muhammad ibn Ali as-Samari or as-Saymari. There's a letter in which the Imam Salamullahi alayhi issued. He wrote with his own handwriting. Shaykh At-Tusi says, the letter is as follows. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya Ali ibn Muhammad as-Samari, أعظم الله أجوركم أعظم الله أجر إخوانك فيك فإنك ميت ما بينك وبين 6 أيام فلا توصي لأحد أن يقوم مقامك بعد وفاتك فقد وقعت الغيبة ولا خروج إلا بإذن الله, until the Imam says فمن ادعى المشاهدة قبل خروج السفياني وقبل الصيحة فهو كذاب مفتري. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi is telling this fourth deputy of his, he is sending him a letter, O Muhammad, O Ali ibn Muhammad, may Allah increase your reward. In 6 days from now, you will leave this world. You will leave this dunya. It is your death. So complete your work. Complete your task. Finish your mission. And do not nominate any person after you. The system of sufara, of deputies, stops right now. And after your death, we will enter into the time of Al-Ghaiba Al-Kubra, the major occultation, which we are in today. Until the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, he tells him, whoever makes such a claim, he says, in such a period will emerge some of my Shi'as that they will claim that they have seen me or they have taken something from me. Whoever makes such a claim before the advent of As-Sufyani and the heavenly voice, which are some of the signs of their reappearance, is a liar, is an impostor. There is no strength and power save that of Allah, the High, the Great, the Almighty. Now, if someone reads this for the first time, well, it's very obvious that Imam Salamullahi alayhi himself is telling us that anyone who claims he has seen me, or that claims that he has some encounter with me, or he has taken anything from me, or a book from me, whatever it is, to consider this person a liar and an impostor. Now, what's very interesting about this is that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, when he speaks about this, what does he mean? Is that really the case or not? In the time of the occultation, which is in the day and age we live in, and where the Imam Salamullahi is not physically present, like I said, that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is not just isolated and just sitting on his own, sitting on an island somewhere on a vacation. Some people try to taint the picture of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman and taint the picture of our madhab, Shi'ism. They say that your Imam's hiding in a cave. That's not who the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is, and that's not what the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is doing. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi is present, as we mentioned. And if it wasn't for his presence, and we have so many narrations that speak about this, as well as verses from the Holy Quran, and where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says on the tongue of through the tongue of the Ahlul Bayt, that there will never be a time where there is not a hujjah, a guide, a proof over humanity. So the Imam is present, and if you really think of it, if you look at the history of Shi'ism, you see that throughout history, the Shia were attacked, the Shia were imprisoned. We were always a minority. We were always looked down upon. We were always mistreated. We were always attacked. And look what happened in Karbala. With everything that has occurred throughout the past 1400 years, we still have, mashallah, a great amount of books and writings that have been left despite what has been happened throughout history attacking Shi'ism. You know, we have so many of our books that were burnt down, many of our libraries that we lost. And perhaps if we had these books in our hands right now, perhaps many of the fiqh verdicts, as an example, may differ slightly in some way. But with everything, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected this religion of ours, has protected the madhab. Why is that? Have you really thought of that before? It is because the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is present. It's through the barakah of the Imam, because there's a hujjah, there's a proof of a humanity in this world. And through the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, Allah protected this madhab and this deen of ours. So when we read these narrations, brothers and sisters, and when we talk about the Imam Salamullahi alayhi being present spiritually, can we see the Imam physically? Can we meet with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi? When we recite as an example in dua and nudba, as well as many of the du'as in which it speaks in this way, where you are calling upon the Imam, showing your yearning towards the Imam, weeping for the Imam to reappear. As an example, when we read بِنَفْسِ أَنْتَ مِن مُغَيَّبٍ لَمْ يَخْلُ مِنَّا, may my soul be ransomed to you. Although, look at this, although you are hidden from us, you have never forsaken us. بِنَفْسِ أَنْتَ مِن نَازِحٍ مَا نَزَحَ عَنَّا, may my soul be ransomed to you. Although you are away, you have never been away from us. بِنَفْسِ أَنْتَ مِنْ أُمْنِيَةُ شَائِقٍ يَتَمَنَّى, may my soul be ransomed to you. يَا صَاحِبَ الْعَصْرِ وَالزَّمَانِ, we are eager to meet you and to be with you, just like a person wanting to meet his beloved. So we see what is hidden from us, brothers and sisters, at the time of the occultation is the title of the Imam, but is not the person of the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. to feel his presence, to feel closeness to him, to feel connected to the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, one is able to do so if they remove these hujub, these veils and the barriers that are placed on the heart when a person sins. The same way we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the heart, and we feel Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the heart, as we mentioned in the previous lectures, the same thing we can connect with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. If I'm a sinner, if I'm a person who doesn't pray, if I'm a person who doesn't take care of my religion, how do I expect myself to feel the presence of the Imam and to see the Imam and to meet with the Imam? So we need to remove these barriers in order to feel that connection. Now that doesn't answer the question. Does that mean that it's possible to see the Imam, even though in the narration we mentioned, it's clear that the one who claims that they did so and they said that we took this from the Imam, to call them imposters and liars? If we look at the history of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, if we look at the history of the Tashayyu' after the time of the occultation of the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, from Shaykh al-Kulayni rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi until Shaykh al-Saduq, until Shaykh al-Mufid, until Shaykh al-Tusi, these individuals, these four mashayikh who have protected our religion, it's through their books. They're the authors of the four books which we follow, Al-Kutub al-Arba'a. The majority of our ahkam and our verdicts and what we take is from these books, which I urge the brothers and sisters to read some of the narrations, to connect with the narrations. Like I said the other day, in the end of the day, we need to strengthen our knowledge when it comes to the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And the best way to do so is through reading these narrations that were presented to us through the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Nonetheless, if we look at the stories of our ulama and our scholars, and if we read about these stories and what has occurred with a lot of the Shia followers, not only ulama, pious Shia followers who had taqwa, who had God consciousness, who followed the Sharia law accordingly, they would all tell you of a personal experience or a personal encounter they had with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. And these ulama and these pious people, they have narrated to us so many of these stories to a level where it reached tawatur. And tawatur is a term that we use in hadith, which means what? If a report or an incident or an idea has been presented to us through various different sources, from various ways, from different books, people from different eras, from different times, where you know that there is no way that these two were talking together and making this a lie. From different times, the multiplicity of these reports makes the individual reach a level of certainty, which you know that this incident for a fact it happened. Just like the incident of Ghadir as an example. The incident of Ghadir, it reached a level of tawatur. There is no way that the incident of Ghadir did not occur when Amir al-Mu'mineen Salamullahi alayhi was appointed as the caliph by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. This was a divine appointment. The number of sources and the number of narrations there are regarding this is many, and not from our books, perhaps more from the books of Ahlul Sunnah. They have reached a level of certainty. This is what tawatur means. Similarly, in this case, there are so many ulama who had encounters with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, who have seen the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. One of these scholars is Sayyid Mahdi Bahr al-Ulum, who, if you read about him, he was known as the marji', the alim, who had this special connection with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. There's a very interesting story that it is said about him. That one time, Sayyid Mahdi Bahr al-Ulum, rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi, when he was studying in the seminary, one of his colleagues, which is Al-Mirza al-Kummi, which is a very, very big scholar, they used to study together and they used to do mubahatha together, and they went their separate ways later on in life. And Sayyid Al-Mirza al-Kummi became a very big scholar. Sayyid Mahdi Bahr al-Ulum was not there yet. In terms of knowledge, Mirza al-Qummi was a more knowledgeable scholar. Now, something happened as time passed by. Mirza al-Qummi goes to one of the villages and where Sayyid Mahdi Bahr al-Arum was present in, and he would hear about this alim everyone's talking about, this scholar. He asks for his name. They tell him, Mahdi Bahr al-Ulum. They used to call him before Sayyid Mahdi, until they gave him this title, Bahr al-Ulum. Bahr al-Ulum in Arabic means the ocean of knowledge. It was given to him after years passed by. He's like, who's this ocean of knowledge? I want to meet him. He goes to him. He sees it's Sayyid Mahdi. I know you. We used to study together. We used to be together. We used to do mubahatha together. What happened to you, mashallah? How do you reach this level? Is there something that occurred? Tell me your story. I would like to know. He tells him, one time I was in Masjid al-Sahla, and I was praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I was calling upon the Imam of my time. May Allah hasten his reappearance. And it is as if I saw something. I don't know what it was, if it was real or not. It was a vision. As if the Imam salamullahi alayhi, there was a light that came to me, and it touched my heart. It just touched me. After that moment, after that encounter, I just felt that I was given knowledge. Subhanallah. I felt as if something has happened to me. And from that point on, my life changed. This is one story. Sayyid Mahdi Bahr al-Urum as well. It is said that one time on the day of Ashura, he was in Karbala and they were mourning Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi. And there was a group of people performing the ziyarah. And they were running. They were performing this run, which is known in this day and age as Raqdat Tawarij. And they saw that the Imam, that Sayyid Mahdi Bahr al-Ulum, all of a sudden, he takes off his amama, he puts it aside, and he just joins this crowd. And he starts jogging with them in this way. They look at him, Sayyidina, what's going on? How are you doing something like this? You're a alim, you're a sheikh. I don't think it's appropriate. Why are you walking like this? You're running in this way. He tells them, Wallah, only if you know what I just saw right now. I saw that the Imam salamullah alayhi was present between these people. And the Imam was the one leading them. And subhanallah, this became a tradition later on. Right now, every year on the day of Ashir, you see these people who come jogging. It's a sign, it's a representation of that group who came after the event of Karbala occurred. They didn't make it to Karbala. They wanted to join Imam al-Hussein, but they didn't make it. So they came after the battle ended, and they were running to see that everything's already done. Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi was martyred. So we have so many stories from the ulama. May Allah bless their souls that it is possible to connect with the Imam. Then what is meant by the narration, by the letter that Shaykh al-Tusi put in his book? What does it mean when the Imam salamullah alayhi personally says that I do not want anyone to say they have seen me or had an encounter with me, or anyone who has done so call him an imposter? What is meant by that, and this is what the ulama explain, is that anyone who claims that they are a representative of mine, anyone who claims that I have sent them to do this and to do that and to talk in this and to talk about that. That's why a lot of these stories, they didn't come known until after the death of these ulama. They didn't go around bragging and saying, oh, I had an encounter with the Imam. No, it wasn't like that. Later on, after years and years of their death, these stories were told. So what is meant by this is, do not go around and tell people that I am the Imam and I am the representative of the Imam. This person, any person who does so, you consider them an imposter and a liar. Because there will be clear signs in where we can tell that this is the Imam or not. Not anyone who comes and say, I had an encounter with the Imam, you believe him. And you'll be surprised how many people in this day and age believe such individuals. When you have ignorant people going out and claiming that the Imam has sent me. So many examples I can give you. And people are taking by this. Why? Because they don't know that anyone who does so, automatically you call them a liar. Automatically you call them an imposter. Because these representatives, these 4 deputies that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi had at the time of the minor occultation, he chose them. He knows who he puts. He knows what they have. He knows the level of knowledge and taqwa they have. Not anyone can reach that level. And you know what's interesting? At the time of the life of the 2nd deputy of the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, there were many people who were knowledgeable, many scholars at that time. One of these scholars was a man named Ash-Shalmaghani. And wallah, if you read about this individual's life, this alim's life, you can make a film out of it. How he started and where he ended. This time, this man, he had a lot of knowledge. He was, the known scholar at that time. And everyone thought, the people, the Shi'as, they thought that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is going to appoint him to be the 3rd deputy. However, the Imam instead chose Al-Hussein ibn Ruh to be the 3rd deputy. Now this individual, as I mentioned, he was a great scholar, he was a marja. He had a book which is called At-Taklif. This book was in every Shi'a's house back then. The same way right now where we have, as an example, Minhajul Salihin, the book of law, the book of fiqh, which you follow for your marja. As example, Sayyid Sistani Minhajul Salihin or Sayyid al-Khu'i. You refer back to this and you see, well, oh, this is halal, this is haram. Everyone has the book of laws in their house. Or at least we should have the book of ahkam so we can know where to take our ahkam from. If not a physical copy, a PDF copy. Or at least go on the website, see the istifta. How are you going to get this hukum from? This is the way you get the hukum, the ruling. Now, nonetheless, this person claimed to be that he is the 3rd deputy and that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi has appointed him to lead the Shia in this minor occultation. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi, because a lot of people, they joined and they bought it. They thought that he was, knowing how much knowledge he had. And he was a very big scholar, like I mentioned. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi, he sends a letter. And in this letter, he says that Al-Shalmaghani has diverted from the truth. Al-Shalmaghani has left the religion. Al-Shalmaghani is not in the scope of this religion of Islam, and he is not my representative. He is an impostor, and he is a liar, and the Imam Salamullahi alayhi cursed him. Imagine being cursed by the Imam. This is what happened to this individual. Not anyone can go around, no matter how much knowledge they have, no matter how much they think they know, no matter how much akhlaq they think they have, in the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses specific individuals to take certain roles. Such roles like being a deputy, a safir from the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, not anyone can take that role and that responsibility. They are chosen by the representatives of God. So we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. And this is a sentence which we should always say and recite. Allahumma rzuqna husn al-aqiba. Oh Allah, we ask you for a good ending. We may be pious Muslims, we may be believers all of our life. That moment of truth, that moment when we are faced with tribulations, we may deviate away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we may die as disbelievers. And I know people, many of my teachers, they told me about ulama, and I'm talking scholars, proper scholars, who they were looked upon and people used to respect and listen to and whatnot at the time of or before they passed away. They didn't believe in God. They didn't follow the Quran. Sometimes takabbur, being arrogant, gets to us. This is a marad. This is a spiritual disease from the diseases which we spoke about, like the hardening of the heart, where we think, we're something. We think that we have a high status. That's why we start to have takabbur. So if we're not given this status, we start to have doubts in God. We start to look down upon people. We start to act differently. Our intentions do not become sincere anymore. And this is when we start to deviate. And this is when, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, we may die as disbelievers. Allahumma rzuqna husn al-aqiba. That's all what we can say. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I would like to request from the brothers if you can please come in to the front, please. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So with that being said, it is possible to want to have an encounter with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, to feel the presence of the Imam, to have a connection with the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. But it is not okay for one to go around and say they are the representatives or they are the Imam Salamullahi alayhi. With that being said, what is the reality of this meeting that we are required to have with the Imam? We need to understand, and a lot of us do not really look at this from this perspective, that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is not just an ordinary being. So when the Imam Salamullahi alayhi tells me something, his word is the word of God. His act is the act of God. You know, one of the ways, and this is a fiqhi research in Hawza that we take in fiqh and usul, is sometimes when you read a narration, the Imam, he doesn't explicitly say that if this is permissible or not, if this is haram or it's makruh or it's wajib or whatnot. But the incident occurs in front of the Imam. So the narrator says that this incident occurred in front of me. However, the Imam didn't say anything, didn't react, didn't stop what was happening. This, taqreer al-Imam they call it, this is the fiqhi terminology for it, that the acceptance of the Imam for such act is proof that it is acceptable, because the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, if anything munkar wal-iyadu billah was happening in front of him, as being the representative of God, just like we have a duty as well, as believers, to perform amr bil ma'ruf and nahy al munkar, to enjoin good and forbid evil, the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, he would have done so. So because of that, then that means that the act is permissible. It's okay. It doesn't state that it's wajib. No, but the least we know, it's okay. Why is that? Because we know that Imam Salamullahi alayhi is a man of God. The Imam Salamullahi alayhi is the representative of God. So this meeting with the Imam is a meeting with God, because the Imam is the manifestation of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Imam is the practical example of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we have traditions that state that Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullahi alayhi is the walking Quran, right? We have the Quran, the silent Quran that we read, that we have in front of our hands. And we have the walking Quran, Amir al-Mu'mineen, who explains to us the Quran and how we need to follow the Quran and how to understand the Quran, so no one goes and interprets the Quran according to his own desire and according to what he thinks or he believes, which is happening so much in this day and age, where you have people, sometimes youth, they hold the Quran and they think, I can understand the Quran and I can give my opinion. Where did you bring that this is wajib? Show me in the Quran where salat is wajib. Show me in the Quran where hijab is wajib. Habibi, calm down. Have you studied? Have you spent years and years in the hawza? Do you have the basic tools to understand the Quran, to go around and comment on the Quran according to your own desire? And we have so many narrations that speak about this, that the one who issues verdicts from the Quran, from his own pocket, فَلْيَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَهُ مِنَ النَّارِ, he'll have a special seat for him in paradise, in the hellfire, Because this is the danger of doing such, because not anyone can do that. It's just the representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is who the Imam salamullahi alayhi is. So when we understand the reality of who the Imam is, our actions will change. Our understanding will change. Our perspective will change. Because we know that this meeting, this spiritual connection that I'm going to have with the Imam is a way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And As we know, the Imam Salamullahi alayhim, they are the wasila, they are the pathway to God. Think of it. If you were to go to a meeting in your job, and usually it's just your colleagues that attend that meeting. They tell you on that specific day, your next meeting, the CEO of the company is going to be attending. You're going to make sure that presentation you're going to give is going to be on point 100%. You're going to make sure the way you dress, the way you talk is going to be different. You're not going to stumble. You're going to be confident. You're going to stand up. You're going to practice beforehand a number of times what you are going to say, because you know there's someone important that is attending that meeting. Similarly, when it comes to this, when we know that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi, the Imam of our time, is present, and that meeting of the Imam is a meeting with God, our actions will change. If we know that the Imam is present here, we're not going to be sitting the same way we're sitting right now. We're not going to be talking the same way we're talking right now. We're going to have a level of respect and dignity that is going to be different. That feeling should not only be limited to the physical presence of the Imam being here or not. This is how we should always be. In every state, because we know that the Imam is a representative of Allah subhanahu. And we do have narrations, brothers and sisters, many by the way, who speak about this, that when the Imam Salamullahi alayhi reappears, there are going to be a number of people who will say, I have seen him, I have had some sort of connection with him, I might have even have had dinner with him, I've seen him somewhere, I've been to Hajj with him. Why is that? That proves more and more to us that the Imam Salamullahi alayhi is present. But we can't see him with this eye of ours, we need to see him through this heart. How do we see the Imam Salamullahi alayhi? Through this heart of ours. How do we illuminate our hearts with the Imams? There are a number of things in which we need to do. And this is the last point I would like to speak about. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is, by the way, a question that one of the companions asked the Imam al-Sadiq salamullahi alayhi. That how are we going to benefit from the Imam of our time? And he's in occultation, in this ghaiba kubra. And the Imam salamullahi alayhi answers. He says, you will benefit from him the same way you benefit from the sun on a cloudy day. The sun's still there. It's giving us its light, its rays. It's not as strong. It's not as hot. But we feel it. We see it. Similarly, the Imam of our time is like that. His rays, the knowledge, the akhlaq, the traditions, everything, they are there. But we need to use these rays. We need to illuminate this heart of ours through the love of Muhammad wa alu Muhammad. So there's a type of relationship we should build with the Imam salamullahi alayhi, which is a relationship of love. Many of us don't have a personal relationship with the Imam, which is very odd. Knowing that he is the Imam of my time, knowing that he is the guide, knowing he is our aid, and I have not built no connection with him. We recite these du'as and these ziyaras that I mentioned, but that's all superficial. In terms of this practicality part, what am I doing to connecting with the Imam? Am I improving my knowledge of the Imam? And this is something we lack. We say we want to be from the Ansar of Imam Al-Mahdi. We don't even know the Imam. All we know is his name. Imam Al-Mahdi, he's going to appear in the end of time. That's it. But who is really and truly the Imam? What is he going to do? What is his story? How was he born? When he was physically present for those few years, what did he do? What does the Imam want me to do? How does the Imam want me to act? I need to have ma'rifah in my Imam. And we differentiated the other day between ilm and ma'rifah. And we said the ilm is just to simply have that knowledge, whilst ma'rifah is the practical application of that knowledge. So we need to seek knowledge when it comes to the Imam Salamullah alayhi, reading their history, connecting with the traditions of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. It saddens me to see that the Shi'as of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam have never read a narration from the Imam salamullah alayhi. Everything we have is from the Imams. It's the tongue of the Imam. It's Imam al-Sadiq speaking to you. It's Imam al-Baqir speaking to you. It's Imam al-Rida speaking to you. This is a way to connect with the Imam salamullahi alayhi. Many of us don't even know the history of our Imams. Many of us, if I were to ask them, can you count for me the Imams? They can't even count them in the proper order. We need to strengthen ourselves when it comes to the ma'rifah, to knowledge. This is a way we connect with the Imam salamullahi alayhi. Another way, brothers and sisters, is obviously to purify this heart of ours. In the end of the day, the Imam salamullahi alayhi, in order for me to have this spiritual connection with him, and I'm a sinner, and I'm a person who doesn't pray, and I'm a person who doesn't wear hijab, and I'm a person who listens to music and drinks alcohol, wal-iyadhu billah, does all of these ma'asi, how do you expect yourself to have some spiritual connection with the Imam? If we can't stay away from these sins, if we lack when it comes to our prayers, if we lack Salat al-Fajr, if we don't wake up for Salat al-Subh, and we don't take this Salat as an opportunity, the most important time of the day, you want your day to be successful, you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you tawfiq, start your day properly. Start your day by doing these 2 rak'ahs. How much are they going to take of your time to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during that time? You know, the Imam salamullahi alayhi, they speak about this time between Fajr and Shuruq. It's one of the most important times of the day. So if someone wakes up for Salat al-Fajr and they were to stay up during that time and seek knowledge as an example, they're going to have a different experience. That's why it's makruh. It's not recommended for one to sleep during that time between Fajr and Shuruq, because that time is sacred for a person to seek knowledge, to speak to God, to read the Quran, to recite the ziyarah, to build a connection with the Imam salamullahi alayhi. And if I lack my prayer, and if I perform all these ma'asi, how do I expect myself to have this special connection with the Imam of my time? When the Imam salamullahi alayhi reappears, and he tells me to leave everything behind, and if I cannot leave the comfort of my bed, to do 2 rak'ahs, how am I gonna be the one in his army? How am I gonna be from the 313? Allahumma ij'alna min ansarik. That's all we recite. But what am I doing on a practical level to be from those ansar? Something to ponder upon. When we recite these du'as, let us understand the words. Let us understand what we are saying. I want to be from the ansar. That means I am ready, ya Imam, when you are to come, or before. That's one of the reasons what postpones the dhuhur of the Imam, because we lack when it comes to our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Imam is waiting for us. When we stop sinning, when we stop doing so and so, when we unite as an ummah, when we work together, when we gain knowledge, when we teach our children, when we bring them to the majalis of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. This is what helps the dhuhur. This is what helps the reappearance of the Imam salamullahi alayhi. If I cannot do any of these, how do I expect to be from these ansar? Let me rethink things and reevaluate where I am and how my connection with the Imam salamullahi alayhi is. You know, one of those individuals, dear brothers and sisters, who answered the call of the Imam salamullahi alayhi, the Imam of their time, was none other than Al-Qasim ibn al-Hasan salamullahi alayhi, who we remember on a night like this. Al-Qasim, the son of Imam al-Hasan, who was asked by Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, how do you view death? He says, uncle, Ya Aba Abdullah, for your support, I find it sweeter than honey. Look at the reply. Al-Qasim was only 13 years old. This was his reply to his uncle Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, salamullahi alayh. On the day of Ashura, after the martyrdom of many of Imam Hussein's companions and household, Imam Hussein looks around. He's got no companions, no helpers, no supporters. The Imam starts calling, أما من معين يعيننا أما من ناصر ينصرنا أما من ذاب يذب عنا. Is there anyone to support us? Is there anyone to aid us? Is there anyone to protect us from harm? Imam al-Hussein then sees a young man coming out of the tent, a man that resembled his brother Imam al-Hassan. It was Al-Qasim ibn al-Hassan. He went up to his uncle Abi Abdullah with utmost dignity and respect. He tells him, Ya Amma, la taqata li ala al-baqa. وأرى بني عمومتي وأخواتي مجزرين وأراك وحيدا فريدا. Oh uncle, I have no strength to stay and I see the members of my family and my brothers slaughtered. And I see you all alone with no supporter. Al-Qasim asks Abi Abdullah to go and fight. Abi Abdullah, he tells Qasim, you are what is left from my brother Al-Hassan. Whenever I miss him, I would hug you, I would smell you. You used to remind me of my brother. How can I let you go? And he told me to take care of you. Al-Qasim, however, tells him, uncle, Ya Abu Abdullah, take this. What is this? It's a wasiyah, it's a will. Imam al-Hussein, salamullahi alayhi, he takes this will and he reads it. It says, my brother Hussein, allow my son Al-Qasim to be a martyr under your hands. As if Imam al-Hussein, as if Imam al-Hassan is telling Hussein, let my son be your partner in this tribulation. I want my son to support you, Ya Abu Abdullah. Al-Qasim was begging his uncle Hussein, kissing his hands, asking for permission, until the Imam finally gives him the permission. He then takes him to his tent, gives him the armor and sword of his father Imam al-Hassan. But before he allows him to go to the battlefield, he tells him, go and say your last farewell to your mother. Imagine how hard it is for a mother to say her last farewell to her child, knowing that these are the last moments. This is the last hug. These are the last words. The poet describes this scene. He says, وداعا يا حبيبي يا كل مالي ونصيبي يا أغلى ما بقالي ذخرت اليوم شبي. Farewell, my beloved. You are my everything and my destiny. You are the dearest thing I have left. I will cherish it until my old age. Oh, Qasim, 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 everyone together. Oh, Qasim, Qasim, Qasim. Oh, قاسم وحملك الوصية سلامي للزكية ولابوك اللي راح مسموم اخذ مني تحية. I entrust you with this testament. Send my greetings to Zahra and to the soul that was poisoned. To my husband Imam al-Hassan, send him my salutations. Oh, Qasim, 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 let me hear your voices. Oh, One more time. Oh, Qasim. She tells him, oh son, go fight for your uncle Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. Make me proud. Make Fatima al-Zahra proud of you, oh son. Then Qasim goes to the battlefield, fighting like a brave warrior, calling, إن تنكروني فأنا نجل الحسن. صبت النبي المجتبى والمؤتمن. هذا حسين كالأسير المرتغن. بين أناس لاصقوا صوب المزن. If you deny me, I am the son of Al-Hassan, the descendant of the chosen prophet, the trusted one. This is Hussein, like a captive held in pledge among people who are not sincere when facing hardships. And then he fights bravely on the battlefield like a brave knight until his shoe gets cut off. So he tries to fix his shoe. He does not want to fight barefoot. Hamid ibn Muslim narrates, so then an enemy of Allah by the name of Umar ibn Sa'd al-Azdi, he wanted to hit Al-Qasim. I told him, oh Umar, why do you want to hit this young man? Why do you want to kill this handsome little man? Leave him alone. Umar ibn Sa'd al-Azdi, he tells him, I am going to kill him and break the heart of his uncle Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Umar ibn Sa'd al-Azdi heads towards Al-Qasim, Ya Mu'minun. He then strikes him with his sword on his head until Qasim falls on the ground. He calls, Assalamu alayka ya Ammahu ya Hussein. Peace be upon you, my uncle Abu Abdullah. Imam Hussein then rushes to see Al-Qasim. He sees him lying on the ground with the blood gushing from his head. He tells him in a heartbreaking voice, Bunay Qasim, عز والله على عمك أن تدعوه فلا يجيبك أو يجيبك فلا يعينك أو يعينك فلا يغني عنك. By Allah, it is hard for your uncle that he could not come to your aid when you called him. Or can he answer you? Or even if he can answer you, he cannot be of benefit to you. May Allah have mercy on you, O Qasim. And then Qasim leaves this dunya on the chest of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. Everyone together, wa Qasima, wa Shahida, wa Qasima. والله بكونا يا جاسم ايش بيدي والله يا ريت السيف قبلك حز وريدي هان لكم تخلوني وحيدي وعلى خيامي يا عم القوم تفتر you leave me all alone يا قاسم. All of my companions have left me. Abu Abdullah carries him back to the tent. He puts the body in the tent. And then his mother Ramla comes to the body. May Allah help Ramla. Imagine this scene. A mother on her dead son's body. Sa'ad Allah qalb ummahu Ramla. She sees his body. ألقت نفسها عليه منادية وولدا وقاسما وحبيبا. Oh, my son Qasim. Oh, my beloved, oh, Qasim. يما يما فتح عيونك لأمك. يما يما أنا أريد لصدري أضمك. يما يما امسحي جروحك واشمك. My son, open your eyes to your mother. My son, I want to embrace you to my chest. My son, I will wipe your wounds and smell you. والله أنا ردتك ما رد الدنيا ولا مال. والله يا جاسم تحضرني لو وقع حملي. ولا مال يا ابني يا جاسم خابت ظنوني. ولا مال وبوقت الضيق يا ابني قطعت بيا. يا وبوقت الضيق يا ابني قطع إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. السلام عليك يا قاسم ابن الحسن. Peace and blessings be upon you, Qasim, the son of Hassan. ورحمة الله وبركاته. Peace and blessings be upon you, يا سيد الشهداء، يا أبا عبد الله الحسين. السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا حسين، يا نور عيني يا حسين. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. Everyone together, let us recite the ziyarah of Hussein. Let your voices reach Karbala. Assalamu ala وعلى أولاد وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى عقيلة الحسين زينب وعلى أخيها وكافلها أبي الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. يا الله, raise your hands for dua. اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك بأحب الخلق إليك فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها. يا الله, ما تركت لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا غما إلا فرجته، ولا سقما إلا شفيته، ولا مريضا إلا وعافيته. اللهم وفقنا لمراضيك، جنبنا من معاصيك، ارحمنا برحمتك الواسعة يا أرحم الراحمين. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure all our sick ones. Ya Allah, bihaqqi Ali Karbala Zain al-Abidin. There are some brothers and sisters who have requested for us to perform dua for them to cure their sick ones. for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer their du'as and their hajat. Let us recite the verse 5 times. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Amman yujib al-muttarra idha da'a. Amman yujib أمن يجيب أمن يجيب أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. اللهم اكشف السوء عنا يا الله. اللهم ارحمنا برحمتك. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والنصر والعافية، ونحن في خير منك وعافية يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة صلواتك عليه. Talk to the Imam of your time. في هذه ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطاهرين. For the souls of all our dead ones, our respected maraji and ulama, everyone who has left this dunya and the love of Ali ibn Abi Talib, let us recite for their souls the Surah Al-Mubarakat Al-Fatiha. But before it, a loud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.